Meet the 1967 C10 truck from Season 4 of Faster with Finnegan. Classic trucks, especially C10 Chevys, have continued to gain popularity, and this is especially true when it comes top-road touring rides. Yeah, someone figured out that an old farm truck, given the right set of parts, can become a real ass-kicker on the track. They also look pretty cool slammed and running a big set of meats. JB Granger is no stranger to pro touring builds. It was over 15 years ago when JB churned out a car show, winning 1967 Camaro. As JB explained, I was inspired by the 1968 Camaro magazine project car called Bad Penny, and when I got tired of the car show scene, I began hitting driving events where I could enjoy my car and improve my driving skills. JB likes to work outside the norm, and being from Georgia, he does like his moonshine, which may explain his next build, a 1966 LS swapped Corvair called Fnader. It's pretty cool, very different, and maybe the coolest Corvair on planet Earth. But we're here today to take a look at his latest ride, a 1967 C10 Chevy pickup truck. JB is constantly going to driving events and was even on a show Caladrew Faster Tana Redneck on the old Speed channel, in which people tried to best a group of pro touring guys that included Detroit Speed's Kyle Tucker, Yancy Johns, and a car builder named Brian Finch. Well, Finch also started focusing on building badass pro touring trucks, so over a few beers, the pair decided to create one for JB. A 1967 C10 was found and promptly named TF. We were told they're his wife's initials, but we've also heard there are alternatives for the initialism. JB's 1967 Atomic Camaro, the one he's had since high school, is most assuredly his favorite, but the C10 is by far the most versatile pro touring ride he's owned. It's because I can simply load the bed of the truck with all my racing gear and just drive it to the track, race with my friends, and then drive it home. No trailer needed. Remarked JB. Once the 67 C10 was found, it was shipped over to Finch Performance for the transformation from farm truck to fast truck. Finch and Ernesto Gutierrez blew the C10 apart and ditched just about everything aside from the body and bed. Finch Performance, now called City Muscle and Fab, or MCMF, offers its own complete chassis setup. As Finch explained, our Apex Predator chassis is a mix of proven parts from Detroit Speed in combination with our chassis designs. The front utilizes DSE's 595 front clip, with the custom Quadralink rear suspension system. They also teamed up with companies such as Viking Performance for the shocks, and developed a full floater system using parts from Moser and Baer brakes. As Finch explained, with our Apex Predator, you don't have to choose between ride quality, stance, and performance, since you get all three with our chassis. We've put our chassis under Mopars, Fords, and tons of various Chevys, and we feel it's a no-compromises solution, Finch told us. All he needs is your truck and a week, and he can churn out a new chassis while you wait. In addition to fabricating chassis, the Finch team can build whole trucks, just like they did for JB. And they are great at swapping in whatever drivetrain strikes your fancy. Want a 7.3-liter Godzilla? They've done that. Blown LT4? No sweat. Hell, they've even stuffed a 2JZ into a 1956 truck recently. For JB's C10, the team settled on a snotty LS7 with a Brian Tooley cam from Scoggin Dickey Parts Center CDSC to motivate the C10 around the track or down JB's favorite country road. Backing up the 7-liter dry sump mill is a Bowler Performance Prep Tremec Magnum transmission, and the whole deal is controlled by a Holley ECU. The engine exhales through a stainless MagnaFlow system. Rumor is there's a 100 shot of nitrous, but nobody would admit to it. Finch's chassis is designed to house 18x 12-inch wheels on all four corners, wrapped in tires as large as 335/30/18. When you plan to track your ride, having a square fitment is nice, since it allows for tire rotations. This is what JB's C10 is running, and his wheels are Forgelines wrapped in sticky BFG Rival-S tires. Stopping the pro touring truck is the job of a quartet of Baer 6P brakes. The interior is all business. There's no radio, but there is a vintage air system to cut through those Georgia summers. along with a pair of Recaro seats with Corbeau harnesses to keep JB and his passenger secured in the twisties. A Holley digital dash to track the truck's vitals. Almost looks like a factory option. The truck was shot in a vintage 1967 turquoise hue, with custom vinyl graphics by Barry Clapp of Graphic Effects in Tennessee. The C10 looks both classic and modern. So what are JB's plans for his pro touring truck? Simple. Drive the snot out of it every chance he gets. Hey, it's not a unique plan, but it sure is one we can get behind. Okay. So the guys over at Faster with Finnegan did a pro touring ride for an episode they were shooting, and they needed a guest to drive it, so they hit up Hot Rod Steven Rupp to be the pilot and tasked him with finding a suitable car. Seems they had some old beat-down Ford and wanted to see if they could beat a pro touring car just by doing some budget mods.